Hello and welcome to this episode of Circuits and You. I'm your host, Zach Dongle, and I'm here to show you how to replace memory on your laptop. The first thing we need to do is take a look at how to determine if your memory has gone bad and needs to be replaced. There are a couple of ways to tell if your memory needs to be replaced. You may receive a blue screen of death that indicates error messages related to memory issues. Some keywords on the blue screen that you will find are memory management. If you receive a blue screen of death that indicates memory management as one of the error messages on the screen, it may indicate that the memory has gone bad and needs to be replaced. There are other things that may cause or indicate memory issues. If your programs are running slow or frequently crash, it may indicate that there is a memory problem. With these symptoms, one of the utilities available to you is memtest86, a common and free program that you can run to determine if you have memory issues. It can frequently be found on boot CDs filled with other utilities, which we have an example of right here. One way to determine if the memory has gone bad is to run the memtest86 and look at the following results. Now, it may be important to try and run with one memory stick at a time. That way you can determine which memory stick of yours needs to be replaced. In order to run this program, simply download and burn the ISO onto a CD or load it onto a USB device. Boot from the device or CD and the program will be able to run. We have an example of how the program will look. Here we have an example of Ultimate Boot CD, a utility that comes with memtest86, the program that we will be running in order to check if the memory that we have in the laptop is currently bad and needs to be replaced. On this screen, we can go to Memory, and then go to memtest86. Both versions of memtest86 on this CD will work. For this purpose, we'll simply use memtest86 Plus. After running memtest86, you will receive a screen like this. This screen will continue going until you stop it. Once the scan is complete, it will continue scanning until you tell it to stop. Here is where you will see error messages if memory checks have failed. You can see the number of times that the scan has gone through the memory and how many times it has received an error. If you do receive errors, that will indicate that your memory needs to be replaced. Another thing that is important to do is to know exactly what kind of memory and how much your laptop currently has. In order to do this, we can go into the BIOS, which will give us detailed system information. It will show us what kind of memory we currently have and what kind of memory we need to replace it with. It is important that if you remove one stick of memory out of two, that you replace it with something that is the same size, otherwise you may cause instability. The first step would be to load into the BIOS, which we will show here. In order to load the BIOS, on the opening screen, simply follow the prompt, in this case F2. The BIOS will give you information such as how many sticks of memory you have and how large each one is. In order to get to that information, simply go over to sysinfo, and you'll find at the bottom, near the middle, the total memory. In this case, we have 4 gigs of memory with 2 slots, each memory stick being 2 gigs. You will also find information on this screen that indicates that this memory is DDR3. So, now you've determined that your memory needs to be replaced, and you know what kind of memory your laptop has. The next question is how. That's exactly what I'm going to show you. The first step is to find the memory compartment on the laptop, which is usually located on the underside. You can find laptop compartment on the underside of the laptop by looking for a panel that is separate from the rest of the laptop. It'll usually be indicated by a small panel with some screws holding it in place. The location and size of the panel that holds the memory will vary from laptop to laptop. So if you are unable to locate the exact place where your laptop memory is located, then something that you can do is go to the laptop manufacturer to find some more detailed schematics on where you might find that. Here, we have located the memory panel on this laptop, and the first thing we need to do is to remove screws holding the plate in place and to remove it. Now I will show you how to remove the memory from the laptop. It is important that we follow regular computer use safety by equipping a static wrist strap. The first step is to remove the plating holding the memory. Here we have already removed the screw, and so we will now remove the plate. We simply insert the screwdriver on this model of laptop into the panel here, and we'll be able to pry it open. Here we can see that this compartment houses the hard drive as well as the memory. For this, we will simply be concerned about the memory. The first step to remove the memory is to locate how your memory is attached. Here, once we move the instructions that come with this out of the way, we can see that it's two slots, two sticks of memory, each held together by a clasp that can be undone by simply moving them to the side. This causes the memory to pop open. Here, at its angled position, we can simply slide it out. We do the same thing with the remaining slot. Pull the tabs on the side in each direction. When the memory changes position, simply pull out at the same angle that it is. You do not want to pull it straight up or straight horizontally if it is diagonal, because you may damage the memory. Now that the memory is removed, we can replace it with brand new memory. It is important to make sure that the memory being replaced is still compatible with the laptop. If only removing one stick of memory, make sure the memory that we replace is of the same size and kind as the memory that we removed. Here, we have new memory that we will be putting inside of the laptop. Simply follow the same instructions in reverse as we did before, making sure to insert on the bottom up. Here, with the latches still to the side, we simply insert the memory, now that the memory is inserted into the laptop, we can push down in order to have the clasps on the side connect. Now that both memories is inserted into the laptop, we simply can close the panel and put the screw back into the proper slot. We have now finished replacing the memory in the laptop. In order to make sure that the memory has been properly replaced, if you want to check, you simply run memtest86 again and see if your results are different. If you receive no errors, that means that the memory that is currently in the laptop is working. You can also check in the BIOS to make sure that the memory is registered there. If memory that you've inserted into the laptop does not show in the BIOS, then it may have been improperly put in or is not compatible with your laptop. That's it for this episode of Circuits and You, where we've learned how to replace laptop memory. Hopefully now, if you ever need to replace the memory in your laptop, you'll know how. Join us next time, where we'll take a look at monitors and how they can be more dangerous than you might realize. See you next time.